This is my top 10 liveries of the 2023 season that have just been released. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's get straight into it. At number 10, I've gone for Haas. I just think their car is a little bit bland. The black, the white, I guess, but it's just a bit shit. It doesn't really go together. There's not much to it. And the designer probably needs to get fired because I just think it just looks shit, to be honest. Haas in the championship, I think they can do a pretty good job with Gunther Steiner at the wheel.
And,
Nico Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, they can be sucking each other's balls all day long and they can get a few points together. I think Kevin Magnussen will be better than Nico Hulkenberg just because of last season, that experience. But overall, I think Haas can do a decent job, get a few points, maybe come 8th, 7th in the Constructors. At number 9, I've gone for the AlphaTauri. Now look, I really liked the AlphaTauri the last 2 seasons. I thought the black and white, that design is so nice. But this season, that sponsorship deal with whoever the fuck they've done it with, I don't know who it is, but it's just shit now. Adding that stupid red has ruined the car. Now I think AlphaTauri, they've got a decent car this year, they've got a good driver lineup. I think Nick De Vries will be better than Yuki Tsunoda. I think he's a quality driver. He showed his quality in his race at Monza last year, and I think he can get a few good points finishes. I think Yuki, hopefully he's better this year. Hopefully he's developed as a driver. But yeah, AlphaTauri looking good. At number 8, this could be a bit controversial. I've gone for the Alpine. Now Alpine, I have liked their car last year. I thought the blue and the pink, it does work a bit well together. I thought it could be better, but this year they've just added a bit of black into the car, and I just think it doesn't really go. I don't think it's that nice, to be honest. On track, it doesn't look that good in testing, and I just don't really like the car, to be honest. I think they can do well, Alpine, this year. They've got a good, solid driver lineup. Pierre Gasly, he's a great driver. Esteban Ocon, he's also a good driver. I think they can get a good few points finishes. I think they're looking for 5th in the Constructors this year. Maybe pushing for 1 or 2 podiums, maybe. But overall, good driver lineup, decent looking car. Not my favourite, but yeah. At number 7, I've gone for the McLaren. I really don't like the McLaren. The black on the McLaren ruins it. I've really liked their livery in the past couple years. In 2021, 2020, I thought their livery was really nice in the orange. And of course, the Golf livery at Monaco, that was just peak McLaren livery. Last year, it was all right, I guess, and I think this year, it looks very similar, and I just don't really like it, to be honest. I think it's a bit shit. They do have a good driver lineup, though. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, great drivers. Apparently, they've got a shit box, though, which is a shame, but I think Lando will do better. I think they can get a good few points finishes. I'm not sure they can get a podium. Maybe if some of the front-running teams have retirements, but yeah. At number 6, this is very controversial. I've gone for the Alfa Romeo. Now, look, I really liked the Alfa Romeo last year, the red and the white, the classic colours for them. And this year they've gone for the red and the black. I just don't like it. I just think they're not contrasting enough. It looks very similar to the Ferrari on track. I think it's just not as nice, is it? It's just not. The red and white is much nicer. I think they've got a good driver lineup though. Valtteri Bottas, I really like him. I think he's a great driver. He can get a good few points finishes. I thought Zhou Guanyu, he was very good in his rookie season last year. A few retirements, maybe more than he wanted, but I think he can do good this season. I think as a team, they're looking for about 5th or 6th in the Constructors, challenging for points every week. Now we're into the top 5. I think all these cars are good looking, and at number 5 I've gone for Williams. I think the Williams is a very simple design. It's very similar to last year, but you just gotta love the blue. It is just very, very nice, very simple. I think it looks great. I think they've got a good driver lineup in Alex Albon and Logan Sargent. I think Alex Albon, if the Williams wasn't such a shitbox, he'd be pushing for points, but the Williams is a shitbox this year. I think they're probably going to be last in Constructors, but I think Alex Albon is a good driver. Maybe for 1 or 2 races he can push for points like he did last year. And Logan Sargent, rookie season, he'll probably be a shitter, but you know, Williams at 5. At number 4, I've gone for the Mercedes. Now, a lot of people like the Mercedes this year. I also like the Mercedes this year, but they just forgot to paint it, basically. I think if it was painted black, it'd look better than it already is. And I also think their car just looks shit. I just think the actual car is just shit, the design of the car. So that doesn't help. But Mercedes at 4, I think it's a good looking car. They've got a very solid driver lineup in Lewis Hamilton, George Russell. I think Lewis Hamilton could be pushing for wins every week. I think Mercedes will get second in the Constructors. I don't think they'll be able to challenge the front running team, but I think they will get second in constructors, and I think George Russell will be able to do a lot better this year. And number 3, I've gone for the Red Bull. Now the Red Bull is it's the same as every year, but it's just very nice, isn't it? I really like the Red Bull. I like the car design. I like the livery. The white livery from a couple seasons ago, now that is very orgasmic. So they should just keep that. But I think the white could feature this year, hopefully in Japan, but they say they won't. But I think the livery as a whole is very nice. They've got a good driver lineup, Max Verstappen and Checo, and I think they are going to win the championship this year. Max Verstappen's just going to run away with it again. Hopefully he can be a bit more challenged from the likes of Lewis Hamilton, but I just think he's going to run away with it, you know, Super Max and that. And yeah, Red Bull at number 3. At number 2, I've gone for the Aston Martin. Now the racing green, you can't hate it. It is beautiful. I think they've got a really good car this year. The livery, the design is really nice, and it's looking fast in testing as well. I reckon they can push 4th in the constructors. They've got a good driver lineup, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, man. He's shit, but Fernando is great. Fernando can push for maybe even some wins hopefully this year, but definitely podiums. I think they can do well in the constructors, best of the rest, and their car's looking good as well. Now that leaves Ferrari. They are number 1 spot. Their car is just pure orgasm, isn't it? Look at it, the red, the car design, everything about it is just pure Ferrari. It's brilliant. I do think they are going to get 3rd in the constructors though, because Mercedes, their consistency, bringing upgrades later in the year, I just think they're less likely to make mistakes. They're more likely to finish every single race, and I think they'll just edge Ferrari. But Ferrari, I do think they'll be able to challenge for wins every week. They'll be able to challenge for podiums. But Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, they're good drivers, but I feel like both of them have mistakes in them, which the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen don't have, and that's what lets them down. But those are my top 10 liveries of the season and where I think each team will come. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be uploading videos for every race this season, reviewing the race, so subscribe if you want to see that. But anyways, thank you for watching. See you later.